It's Jen from Jen's Extraordinary Life, and welcome back to my Make Believe Cooking Show. Today we are prepping some deviled eggs. So this was a request from my son, my baby boy, Cooper, and he loves deviled eggs. So I'm just going to show you how I make them, and I'm going to try to include the measurements, but to be honest, I've just made them this way my whole life, and I'm not exactly sure I know the measurements, but I got out some things and we'll see if we can do it. And I'm also going to introduce you to my friend, the hand mixer. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, this girl loves her stand mixer and she never uses a hand mixer, but I do occasionally use a hand mixer, and today is one of those occasions. All right, so I have already boiled my eggs. Now, I will link in the description how I did that to get you'll see that these are perfectly round with no big hunks taken out of them. They are gorgeous, and the reason for that is because I use my pressure cooker to make them, and I've got a video on how to do that, so I'll link that below. I'm just going to take this knife, and without cutting my hand, I'm going to remove the centers, and then I'm going to put my whites in this bowl because I'm going to rinse them off in a minute. But you want to just kind of cut these up the best you can down the center so that they're uniform in size. Gosh, they look so pretty. All right, and I actually did these last night and then put them in the fridge, so there is a flat spot on the bottom. I don't know if you can tell that. There is a flat spot on the bottom because I put them in this bowl overnight in the fridge, and so I'm going to just use that flat spot as the bottom of my eggs. Now I'm doing a dozen eggs here, so take that into account when I give you the measurements, that this is for a dozen eggs. And a dozen eggs, as you know, since a deviled egg is just a half of an egg, a dozen eggs makes 24 deviled eggs. One more. Oops, I didn't get all of that out. All right, let's move this aside. Okay, let me grab that sour cream and the paprika. Why do they make these so hard to get the plastic off? They just do not want us getting into the sour cream and cutting it. Nobody's got time for that mess. Okay. Alrighty, let me get the paprika. Okay. All right, so got all of our eggs here, and I am going to take, I don't know what you call this. I think it's a potato masher, but in my house it's an deviled egg masher upper. I'm going to mash up these egg yolks a little bit with this, and then I'm going to add all the rest of the things. Okay. Most important, Duke's mayonnaise. If you don't have Duke's, I'm really sorry. But if you do, you know. I'm going to take 1/4 cup of Duke's mayonnaise. For this, we might need more. I just eyeball it. We might have to add some. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. So let's start with 1/4 cup. And then we can add to it if we need to. Okay, and then I'm also going to do about the same amount of sour cream. All right, so about as much sour cream as mayonnaise, so that's maybe 1/4 cup there. We'll see if we have to come back and add to that. And then literally a squirt of yellow mustard. I don't know how much that is, but a healthy squirt of yellow mustard. I'm going to say about 1/4 teaspoon of salt and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, which maybe 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. Depends on how peppery you want your eggs, I guess. Okay. This is where you get to meet my friend, the hand mixer. I've had this friend. I got it as a gift. I can't remember if it was in college or right after I got married. But that's how long I've had this, so we're talking at least 30 years. That looks perfect. Okay, there's still some in the bottom I see that's not mixed in. So we're going to get that up. And a little bit, I see a little bit of mustard over here on the edge. Let's get that incorporated. We'll give it one more little mix. And the reason I use a mixer is because I like to have it nice and smooth. You're going to see in just a bit that we're actually going to pipe this mixture into our egg whites. Yeah, I don't think we need any more mayonnaise or anything. It's about perfect. All right, I've done this so many times for so many years that I just kind of eyeball it, but I think those measurements were pretty good. All right. Set my friend the mixer aside. And then I'm going to go rinse off these egg whites, get a piping bag for the yolk mixture, and then we'll put it all together. So I'll be right back after I rinse off the eggs. See you in a minute. Okay, so I have taken my egg yolk mixture and put it in a piping bag. And what I did was I just folded the edge of this piping bag over this measuring cup, and then that made it easier to fill, and then I can press it down into the center. And then I'm just gonna do like you would an ice cream. Just kind of swirl it in these eggs. Now, I had a star tip, and then it makes it a lot prettier, but I don't know what I've done with my star tip, and I'm not going to buy one right now just for this, so this is what we're doing. But it is really pretty with a star tip. I'm not gonna tell you a story. That's the prettiest way to go. But those are cute, huh? All right, so I'll continue with that, but the last little piece is to just sprinkle some paprika on them. It gives it some color and flavor, so dual purpose there. And that's it, there you have it. I'm gonna get to finishing these up. And I thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. If you learned one thing, even one thing, I would love for you to put it in the comments. And I'd love for you to come back and see more of my videos. And until next time, I hope you have an extraordinary life. Bye-bye.